Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tatiana, and today I'm going to tell you a little story about how I started my business and how I went from a broke college student to where I'm at today. And it's funny because I realized that this whole time I haven't shared with you guys on this channel, Lux Biz, who I am and my business and all that stuff. It's so weird that I haven't created a video yet, and it's because I kind of assumed that everyone already knew because a year ago I did a video with my boyfriend at the time and it went viral. It got 4.1 million views and the title was how she makes how this 23-year-old makes $50,000 a month or whatever it was, like that. And so it got a lot of views, and so I started getting a lot of messages on Instagram and social media, and everyone asking me, how do I do this, and how do I do that, and tell me this, and is this a good product? And I really couldn't answer everyone. And up until now, I still get a ton of messages that I just can't respond to because I just don't have the time to do that. So I figured, okay, what's the best way to help people without responding to them on an individual basis? And I figured sharing a video. So that's how Lux Biz came about. I created this channel because I said, okay, I'll take everyone's top questions and then I'll answer them in video format so that it can reach more people and help more people. And so yeah, that's why Lux Biz exists. That's why I talk about Amazon specifically. And so yeah, I guess I'll start sharing my story now. So 3 years ago, I was a college student, pretty broke. I mean, was working as a waitress part-time at a restaurant in Canada and going to school full-time. I was studying political science, which is funny because what I do now has nothing to do with that. And so yeah, it was just basically my days would be I wake up in the morning really early, 5 a.m., take the bus while it's still dark to school, and then I come home when it's dark. So I basically would never see sunlight. And then on the weekends, I would work at Cactus Club. I guess I'll tell you guys Cactus Club, which is the restaurant I worked at. And then I would see my boyfriend whenever I had time, and that was life. Then I met, I think it was 6 months or some time after being in a relationship with my boyfriend at the time, he was telling me, hey, you should start an online business. And because he had an online business, so he has his own blog that he's been doing for the last 8 years. And so he was pushing me to start an online business because he was seeing how much I worked and how little time I had for him. And so he wanted me to have more time to spend with him, and also because he was able to work from his computer. So he was able to travel the world and work independently and not really have any strings attached. He didn't have really any obligations. And so for myself, I can't just pick up my things and leave school for a month or leave my work. It just didn't really work out that way. And so he was really kind of encouraging me to start an online business, but I really didn't want to. I really didn't like the idea of working on the computer. I didn't even own a computer at the time. I had an iPad. And so for me, it was just not really an intriguing idea, and so I kind of held off on that for a while. And then one day I was like, okay, let me just try this because this is getting too much. I was just not having any time to spend with him, and I was not enjoying my days and not enjoying the work that I did. And so I tried it. There's so many different ways to make money online, and so I tried a few different things. This is before I knew about selling on Amazon, and so the first thing I tried was Kindle publishing. I took his course, which is K-Money Mastery. It's a great course, and it taught me to publish books online and sell them and become my, self-publish. And so I had a puppy. He's so cute, Simba. And basically I used him on the cover of my books for inspiration. I started a dog training line of books. And so a lot of the books I didn't write myself. I used ghostwriters, but some of the books I did write myself because I was actually learning to train my dog, and so I was using that information to write the books. They're not like big novels, they're short books. And so then I would take a picture of my dog and he'd be the cover of the book, and it was really, really cute. But I did that for a while, and I think I had about 6 books, and they were doing around like maybe $600 a month. And so I was like really excited, $600 a month, that's a really good income for a broke college student to have coming from the internet. And so that lasted a little while, but then I started to lose excitement for it, and I just didn't like it. So I was trying to pursue other, things online. So I tried a few different things and didn't really like it, and finally I discovered selling on Amazon. So the reason that I discovered it was because my boyfriend was an affiliate for this course, and so he presented the course to me. He was telling me about the course, and so we both decided that we wanted to learn how to sell products on Amazon. And so we both enrolled in the course at the same time. And so it was exciting to have him, learning the same things I was learning. And so we started going through the course, and it was a little bit of a competition of who would, achieve things faster, and so it was kind of fun. And so he was sourcing his own products, and I was sourcing my own products. And so, prior to that, of course, I didn't have any experience with business or online selling or marketing or sales. All I knew was political science from university and my little experience from life, So it was very new to me, but thank God this course was very in-depth, and so it helped me kind of get through everything and learn everything. But, when you're doing business, it's very different than I think when you're studying it. When you're studying business in university, you can memorize things in a textbook and, do the tests, but it's different when you're in it. You're in it and all these things are happening and you have to deal with them whether you like it or not. And so I started to learn a lot in a short period of time. And that's actually when I started to do self-development, because I started learning so much and I became kind of addicted to the idea of learning. And I really enjoyed learning new things every day. And I started to get addicted to the process of just growing and learning. So that's when the self-development kicked in. So I started with a product that was a cognac sponge, very small product. I picked it because it was small, lightweight, it was very cheap. I really didn't have much money. I mean, again, broke college student. My first inventory was $300. I actually was less than $300. I still have the invoice. It's like 280 something. So that was how much my first inventory cost, because these products, they were so small, they costed like a couple pennies each, and I would sell them for $10 on Amazon. So really good profit margins. But for those watching this video today, you guys are gonna say, oh, that doesn't work today. And it's true. What worked for me 3 years ago isn't gonna work for you today. It's gonna be very hard to find your first inventory around $300. That just doesn't exist anymore. And it's gonna be, you don't want to sell a product that's $10, because if you sell a product that's $10, now it becomes an add-on item on Amazon, and you can't basically check out that item until you buy more things on Amazon as a buyer. So it's not good from a selling perspective. Anyways, having said that, that was my first product experience. Started selling, and it was cool. It was cool for me to have a product that I created this product. I didn't really create the actual physical cognac sponge, but the product was mine. I had my own logo, my own brand name, my special packaging that I customized and I decided on. And it was cool to actually have like the samples in my hand and to, be able to give them to my friends and family, and I was proud of it. And so it was very exciting for me. And so I started making some sales, and I got up to around, I think it was like $5,000 a month, maybe less. No, maybe $1,000 a month. I can't remember, it's long ago. But anyways, it was a significant amount of sales for someone who's never made money like that online. And so it really encouraged me. But the problem with that product is that it was a trend. It was a trending product. And the trend kind of died down, and then my sales dropped and I didn't know why, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? And so at that point in time, I decided, okay, let me look for another product. So having the experience that I had gone through the course, the Mise en Sewing Machine course, and so I knew how to private label products. So now when I repeat the process, it becomes a lot easier because you already know all the steps. And so now all I had to do was pick a product, and then I knew what to do with it. And so for me, picking my second product, it was kind of like, what's something I like? And so I looked into my makeup bag and I saw this 3D fiber mascara. The big brand at the time was which they're kind of like a multi-level marketing cosmetics business, but they were really, really big at the time. Again, another trend. And so I thought, oh, it'd be so cool to private label this product and make it my product because I love having long lashes and I would really use this product myself. Now, looking back at the way that I was thinking, I wouldn't recommend using that train of thought nowadays when you guys are sourcing products, because you want to go where the market is. You don't just want to source a product that you think is awesome and exciting and a product that you would use. You want to find out what the market wants to buy and what the market desires. And so anyways, I didn't know that at the time, and I sourced the product and I called it Wow Lash, because at that time I started working in a bank. And at the bank, people would come up to my till, and because I had this sample for the mascara, I would wear it every day. And people would come up to me and be like, wow, your lashes are so long. And I was like, oh, wow, that's a good name for the mascara if I have it called Wow Lash. So I was really proud of that. I always tell people this story, Wow Lash. And so I made the logo with like the O became an I, and it was really, really cute, and I was really excited to receive that. And so, when you're passionate about what you do, things become effortless. And so for me, I just really enjoyed this whole process of sourcing products. And so I sourced the mascara, it was good. I started selling on Amazon, super awesome. At the time, I know if you guys are selling now, you'll see that, the beauty category is a gated category, and at the time it wasn't. So, 3 years ago, it was a lot easier to do a lot of things that I did. With the mascara, it is a product that you do have a risk of liability. You're putting something on your eye, near your eyeball, that can potentially go in your eye and cause reaction. And people who have very sensitive eyes, they can have a very serious reaction to that. In fact, one of my best friends, she sampled my product, and it was so bad. Her whole eye turned bright red. It was really, really bad. She had a severe allergic reaction to it. And somehow it was only happened to her. None of my customers for many, many, many months never had any problems with the product, only my best friend. So I felt bad about that, but that just shows the risk that you're putting yourself in. If she was a customer, she could have potentially sued me, or she could have gotten me in a lot of trouble, So you definitely have to do your due diligence, understand the risk, the liability risk with products like that, cosmetic products, products that you ingest, put on your skin, put in your eyes, anything like that. And so I didn't, again, being so new, didn't realize that at the time. And it wasn't until that happened with my best friend that I actually got scared and I said, oh my God, this is serious. So I kind of wanted to get out of that. And the product trend started to die down anyways, because it was just, again, a trend, so it started to die down. So I just had to start making a new product. And I think at that time is when I went to my first ASM event. No, it was at the time of the cognac sponge, actually. So during the time that I had the cognac sponge product, I went to an ASM live event. And these events basically are events that the Amazing Selling Machine hosts. If you purchase the course, you're allowed to go to them. They have them every year, and they basically have this big event where they have speakers that come in, and you learn a lot about selling on Amazon, a lot that you won't find on Google or YouTube, or you won't find in the course, but you can also network with people and meet a lot of people. So it was when I went to that event that I really got excited about this business, because prior to that, my goal was, I'll make a couple $100 and I'm happy, or I'll make a couple $1,000 and I'd be super happy, and then that could support me for the rest of my life. But when I went to that event, I actually saw the potential. I actually realized that, oh, this is a lot better than I thought. And I went to the event and I met people that were doing $10,000 a month, and they started selling a few months ago. And then there were speakers that were doing $100,000 a month, and speakers who were doing $1 million a month, which is crazy. And prior to that, I didn't even know that was possible. Like I would always assume that anyone who would say something like that is, fraud, dishonest, just scam. But when you're hearing it, first person from someone that you actually trust, it's really just eye-opening. And so I heard that, and I remember I had goosebumps in my arms, and I said, oh my gosh, I have so much opportunity. Thank God I live in this day and age where we have so many opportunities. And I just got really excited, and that's really what pushed me and motivated me to pursue the rest of my business. It wasn't until I went to that live event that I started to set higher goals for myself. Before, it was like $2,000 is my ultimate goal, and I'd be happy with that. But then I realized I'm limiting myself. When I have it in my mind, I'm like focused on $2,000, $2,000, $2,000. Well, I'm never gonna make more than $2,000. I'm not opening my mind up to making more. And so then I raised my standards. I said $10,000. And then, many months later, I said $20,000. And, the goals went higher and higher and higher. And now every month, my goal changes, and it's really exciting. And I truly believe that whatever you set your mind to, you can achieve. So if you're setting your mind as low as $2,000, great, you can achieve that. But set it, the sky is the limit, really. Be realistic, but the sky is the limit, I think. So yeah, that was an important part of my journey. So I had to start selling a new product, but I kind of took my time with it because I was really, really busy. This business kept me really busy because I was still in school and work, and then this business, and I just didn't really have a lot of free time. So I was just like, I'll just coast, and whatever happens, happens. And I didn't do any extensive product research for this next product. Instead, what I decided to do was look at what I buy on Amazon. So I wasn't a big Amazon shopper because I lived in Canada, and in Canada we have Amazon.ca, but it's not really that good because they don't have that many products. So if I wanted to buy something, I would have to ship it to the border from Amazon.com and then drive my car to the border and pick it up. And so I was like, okay, someone like myself, what am I buying on Amazon? And so I saw that I was repetitively buying waist trainers. And so I started to look into waist trainers, and it didn't seem like it was actually a product that was smart to source. And actually, if you look at them now, it's very high competition, not a great niche to get into. But I wanted to do it anyways because it's a product that I personally had success with, and it's a product that I was very confident that I could market. And I think that's the only reason that I succeeded with it, not because the product is great on Amazon, not because it's low competition or anything like that. It's just because I could market the product because I had the results. I had been waist training, I had seen great results from it. And so I realized that, wow, this could really be good. And so I kind of just went on a limb, and everyone told me not to do this product. Even, my boyfriend at the time, he told me not to do the product. And everyone's like, it's just too complicating because not only do you have to have all these different sizes, but you also have to have different colors to suit different people's styles. And I just went for it anyways. I don't know why, but I did, and I'm happy I did. So I started to source that product. I found a manufacturer. Basically, because I had so much experience with waist training, I told the manufacturer, can you change this and this and this and this? And luckily, the manufacturer was willing to work with me. The end product did cost me more, but because I had the cognac sponge and the mascara, I was making sales from those, and I reinvested that profit into the waist trainer. And so I started to get my samples. I loved it. Started selling only one color, pink, and a few different sizes on Amazon.com. And I started to get reviews, and based on the reviews, I would improve the product. So every time I would place a new order with my manufacturer, I would improve the product quality because, of course, the higher quality your product is, the better your customer's experience. And the better your customer's experience, the better everything is for your business. And so I wanted the customer to have the best experience possible, and I still do. Up until this day, every time I place a new order, we have something new with the product. We're always tweaking it, we're always changing it based on the customer's experience. So I started to do that, and the sales happen naturally. I think, it's crazy. There's just a lot of natural sales. I never really spent money on advertising, to be honest. I still don't spend any money on advertising. I just have social media and YouTube. So it was really, really interesting, and I think it's just because the quality was good. So there was positive reviews, natural positive reviews based on the quality. And yeah, it was kind of like the ripple effect, and things grew from there. Every time I would make more money with my Amazon sales, then the profits I would reinvest into the business, and I would buy more inventory. And my biggest problem was that I would sell out. I would be out of stock. And so that was my biggest problem for a long time, actually. Very long time, actually. And it's because there's just more demand than I could afford, you know? For someone, I never took out any loans. I never borrowed money from anyone. I literally started this business with the $300 I invested in the cognac sponge, and I've reinvested everything since then. So I've sold, reinvested, and at the time I still wasn't paying myself. So I wasn't really paying myself any money. I was basically just reinvesting all the profits in the business. And so for someone who's doing it that way, that's the slow route. You know, for someone, if you're not taking out a loan, if you're not borrowing money from anyone, friends or family or anything like that, it can take time to build up that income so that you can buy a bigger amount of inventory. But I was fine with that because I wanted to do this on my own. It's a little bit of a, you know, like I just wanted to do it on my own. That's basically what it comes down to. And so it was a little bit slower, but eventually I stopped getting out of stock, which is great, and got an inventory management person. So they do give me inventory reports bi-weekly, so I know when to place an order, which was something I struggled with. And I worked it up, and then I got to about, I don't know at what point I started to pay myself, but basically I started to pay myself after, you know, I think it was about a year and a half ago, maybe more, 2 years ago. Oh, I'm so bad. But I started to pay myself eventually. And then after a few months of paying myself, I quit my job, and I was so happy to quit my job. Oh my gosh, it was the best feeling ever. I was working at the bank, and I quit my job at the bank because I decided to go on a 4-month vacation to Thailand. And then when I came back, I got a job as a server at another restaurant. And I did that for a while I was working on my business. And I actually stopped doing school at that time. So when I went to Thailand, I stopped doing school because, you know, I was going traveling, but I actually never returned to school after that, because once I came back, my business started to grow more. I started working part-time as a server. I didn't have time for school anymore. I wanted to focus on my business. I saw the potential there, right? And so I started to do more of my business stuff, and eventually I quit that job as a server. And I remember I was working there, and they're like, so why are you quitting? And I'm like, I'm gonna pursue my business. And they're like, oh really, your business makes enough money for you to live off of? I remember people ask me that all the time. Whenever I tell them I sell products online, people are like, oh really, is that something you can afford and you can live off of that? I'm like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'm good. So I quit that, and then I started to, you know, pay myself more, and then I moved out and I went full-time in my business. And yeah, it's like now, you know, I moved my business not just on Amazon. I moved it primarily on my website, is where we make all the sales now. My website, I have so many different products. I actually don't even know how many products we have. So many different SKUs, but that gives people variety. So they have options. If they want to buy something to suit different needs, they have the options to do that. But we still have the main products on Amazon. So I went from like, you know, zero, you know, the income changes every month depending on the sales, but it ranges from 50 to 80,000 a month in sales, which is really, really exciting. It's cool, and you know, we're building our team, which I'm really excited about. I love everyone that works with me because they're all awesome. They're all women, and we're small. There's only 4 people, but it's really cool. Yeah, basically I now travel the world with my computer. I moved to Panama, and I travel the world, and I do things on my own clock, and I'm just forever grateful, and I'm just excited. I have so much passion to continue my business. You know, when I take too much time away, I feel eager to get back to work. So, you know, I think overall, when I think about my health, like I put more hours in my work now. I spend more time working now than I did at my day job. But it's time well spent because I'm investing this time into my brand, and a brand that is growing, and it's an asset. You know, eventually if I want, I could sell my brand, which is super exciting, a huge opportunity there. So I'm not working just for a paycheck, I'm working for a future, and I'm really excited about it. And yeah, it's super awesome, and really, really grateful, and just continuing to grow and just expanding into different opportunities, you know, things like I share on my YouTube channel. There's affiliate marketing, and there's just so many different things that you can tie into this type of business, which is really, really cool. And yeah, and so now I kind of help people with their businesses on Amazon. I help them reach their goals because I have the firsthand experience. You know, I've gone through so much, and I've failed so many times, guys, and you know, it's like you don't see all the failures. I've had so many times just like crying in my bed because I lost X amount of dollars or X amount of time, or I just messed up totally, or I want to give up because I'm so stressed on the phone with Amazon customer support for 15 hours. Like, you guys don't see that part of it, but that's what's made me who I am today, and it's helped me because I've learned all this stuff that I can now share with you guys. And I'm so grateful for it because I think it really can help people who are in the position that I was in a couple of years ago. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this get to know me video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, comment below something about me that you didn't know that you learned in this video. And if you have any questions, if you want me to do another video that's more about me, like personally, or whatever it is that you want me to record, just let me know in the comment section below. Bye guys. Hey guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell symbol so you get notified whenever I've got a new video. I highly recommend that you click the link in the description so you can subscribe to my mailing list so I can send you free Amazon FBA video trainings. And if you want to continue watching, I recommend one of these videos here. So click it.